Welcome to the Art of Succession podcast with Barrett Young. Join us as we explore the strategies, stories, and insights that shape the journey of leadership transitions and business success. No matter where you find yourself along the journey, this is the podcast where you'll find the tools to make it happen.
I have sacrificed so much time away from my family over my career. And now it's easier for me, and maybe because I'm older and I'm looking back and I'm just like, wow, where's the time gone? I always feel like I'd make up this time later. You have your own values as a person. And if this company that you work for doesn't measure up to those values, then it's something that needs to be left behind. If I'm going to say I'm going to change accounting, I have to change GW. Like, I can't just say accounting needs to change. I have to show it's possible.
Welcome back to part 2 of my interview with my friend and partner here at GWCPA, Samantha Bowling. If you'd like to watch part 1 of our interview, you can find that link right here. Otherwise, let's jump back into our episode. So you interview and then you become a partner. How long did that end up taking?
It was about, 11 years. No, 10 years. Might have been right at 11 years, I think is how long it took for that to happen.
And had the people who told you this is not going to happen, had they retired? Had you just changed their mind? Had you gotten so big they couldn't ignore you? Like, what made that actually finally happen other than you left and then were convinced to come back?
Yeah, I left as a manager and came back as a manager. Not left because I wasn't going to be a partner. I left because of other situations and culture, mainly culture related situations. But when I came back, if I could see that they could change, then I was like, okay, then this is a place where I could be a partner. Like I could, fathom staying and continuing to innovate and improve on things because of that. Becoming a partner for me, I really think happened because of technology, because I'd spent all those years innovating everything, like changing internal software, payroll software, external software, being the person that volunteered to do all of that. So when there was a conversion, I said, I'll do it. Like, I want to learn it. I want to do it. So I am invaluable. Like the value for me may not have been in the person I was as an accounting person or a CPA person, but it definitely was as a technology person. So I knew I was able to manage client work, manage client communications, and also innovate. And I knew how basically the business generated revenue and what I needed to do to make money as a partner. So, and to be able to keep clients, bring on clients, customer satisfaction, for sure, I'd proven all of those. So I had done all of those. So I knew if I didn't become a partner, I had all the tools I needed to, and all the technology I needed to start a new firm pretty easily. So, and I think that was something they were aware of, but I also felt like they could see that I could see the value in who I had become as a leader in the firm, for sure. And then people had retired as well, but I'm not going to say there weren't some naysayers still left, but there were, but that's okay.
At the time, I know the employees meant a lot to you.
Oh, yes.
You could have gone out and started your own firm and been successful. No doubt about that. So speak to somebody who is stuck. Why? I mean, you said this was your main topic. We love succession businesses at GW, but there is some garbage that needs to be left behind and some that needs to be carried into the future. How do you know what needs to be carried into the future and is the identity of a firm? And how do you identify what is the junk that needs to get left behind?
You know what? That is the easiest question to answer because and I've learned this over the years, and it's a hard question because everyone thinks everything needs to carry forward. And I would say if you are putting your team first and what impacts them first, you'll know immediately what to carry forward. I mean, if it's something that rubs your team the wrong way or gives people an uncertainty or uncertain feeling about something, then you just leave it behind. And Barrett, I don't think I could actually have done that if we hadn't done our values. You have to have something to measure it. So if your company doesn't have values, that's okay. But you have your own personal values. You have your own values as a person. And if this company that you work for doesn't measure up to those values, then okay, well, or the thing that you guys are discussing doesn't measure up to your own personal values, then it's something that needs to be left behind.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been,
Yeah,
that has made everything easier for me, I think, the values.
Yeah. So we went through this process 2 years ago, almost at this
Yeah.
point.
What a 2 years.
And it was a matter of identifying the values that we believe GW stands for and how those align with your values as one of the partners and my values as the other partner. But since that time, 2 years ago, every little change that we've made has been met with, well, you're changing who the firm is. And you're saying absolutely not because of the values. Is that what you're saying here?
Oh no, I'm saying we changed who the hell we were because we needed to change who the hell we were. So,
but you're saying that we changed those to become truer to values that already existed here, or I get every single change we've suggested, we've heard from either a customer or a former partner or former somebody or other. You guys have completely wrecked the firm. This is not the same GW that it used to be.
Thank God. That was so what I was working for. That was so what I was working for.
Okay. So just people need to get on board or get out of the way?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it sounds harsh when you say it that way though, because, but I've been patient. I've been very patient and I knew what the values that were important to me as a person, and a reason I stayed, I could see GW with those values. And I believe to its core, the people who were there had those values and believed in those same values. We just didn't do anything to emphasize what those values were. We didn't do processes about that. We didn't have benefits about that. We didn't do anything to support values because we never defined them as a company. So, yeah. So of course it would have changed who we are. We didn't have them.
Am I thinking about this correctly? In the absence of defined values, companies still have values, right? But those values are going to be a mix of all the other partners, all the lead employees, the lead customers, and what their values are and how they drive your firm for you. But once we said these are our 4 core values, that gave us clarity to be able to tell somebody, well, that might be your value, but you're going to have to go work with a firm that values that. Is that what you're saying?
Do you want to know what
we had 30 core values for GW.
We had one value, Barrett. It was do whatever it takes to make the customer happy and shut up about it. That was our value. Do whatever we need to do to make the customer happy. Use whatever software they want to use or not want to use, paper they want to use. Work as many hours as you want to work to meet the deadlines, the unrealistic deadlines. And as long as the client's happy, that's our value. That is what I feel our value was for my entire career at GW. And up until the point where we defined our values. And I know that sounds harsh and terrible, but that's what it was.
So what is terrible about that? Because most CPA firms would say customer satisfaction or customer service is our value. So talk about the downside of that.
Unfortunately, that's a detriment to our people. I mean, that's the unrealistic hours. That's the unnecessary stress. That's the deadlines where we keep promising that we'll do everything for everybody at any cost. It's caused people health problems, mental stability. I'm talking myself included. It's called sacrificing time with family, time you can't get back because it's almost like we're treated the work that we do. Not that the work we do is not important. It is important work. But it's not so important that someone's life's at stake here. And that's how we've treated it my entire career, for sure. Do whatever it takes to get it done, no matter the sacrifice. I have sacrificed so much time away from my family over my career. And now it's easier for me, and maybe because I'm older and I'm looking back and I'm just like, wow, where's the time gone? I always feel like I'd make up this time later in life. And unfortunately, we've seen people even on our team die and not even have the opportunity to make up that time because they thought, oh, I'll just get to the next year. I'll just do this and keep doing this or whatever, because whatever the client wants is the most important. But you know what? If you take care of your people, and I think Simon Sinek has said that too. So many people have said that. So many great people have said this, but if you take care of your people, they will take care of your customers. They will do that and they will go above and beyond. But we can't have these unrealistic expectations we can't not do this because, as you know, Barrett, I have done this and I can't keep someone on to take my place because they see the unrealistic time that I put on myself to do this job. And I don't need to do this and I don't want to do this. But unfortunately, by shifting, making the team's life better, I really haven't figured out how to make our lives better yet. And I think it's more people, more innovation, more automation, stuff like that for sure to do that. But that's step one. I think getting the team to the right hours and the right deadlines and the right stress level balance, whatever that is, and eventually getting that right is going to bring us the right customers and then allow us to concentrate on what we need to concentrate and also, again, work less hours, but we're going to be providing more value. So, it's not about the time and the hours, it's about the value. And then what we're charging for that value. So you can have 1 million hours and it doesn't really mean anything. That's the sad thing.
Let's talk about intrinsic and extrinsic motivation a little bit here, because one of the things I try to convey in this podcast, and one of the things that drives me crazy about YouTube entrepreneurship, is how easy it is to just go out and buy a business and get passive income for the rest of your life. On the other side, you're talking about hours and sacrifice and all of this. Just it's a slog. It's a struggle. There's never ending piles of work to be done. And that's one of the things I think in our profession people have issues with is tax season ends and it's like tax season's right around the corner again. So
yeah, it never ends.
Tax season's coming. So what is it about this profession? And you can feel free to jump into volunteering here or wherever you want to take it. What is it about the cyclical nature of our business that, in spite of that, or maybe because of that, has kept you so engaged for the long term?
Yeah, I've had this vision for GW of, working normal hours, 40 hours a week. I mean, this was a dream, big dream. And I really at first thought that may never happen until you came along. I'm going to give you some kudos here because I was really struggling to figure out how we're going to get this done. If you don't have another person, another champion that has the same vision as you, it's hard to change things by yourself. It really is. So I'm not going to lie. So when you came along and things started to move faster because I had another person with the same vision and jumping in and getting things done and innovating stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, we could actually really get to this. We start having these conversations, we can get that. So for me, I've always wanted to make public accounting better. It's a great career. It's a great career in that you could financially support yourself and your family, and you help businesses, change people's lives financially by just, having your own business and having savings and retirement, and people having their kids be able to go to college for the first time, things like that. So you really do impact people's lives. So that motivated me about this profession. I always wanted to be a CPA. One, first for myself, it sounds selfish, but then for people, to help people. I really became a CPA to help myself be financially literate, and then to help other women, other people become literate and be able to, support themselves and things like that. So then when I started mentoring other professionals that were working in public accounting and private industry or whatever, and I started to realize accounting everywhere is like this. It's not just public accounting that has this grind of hours and deadlines and things like that. It's everyone in this profession that does accounting work is having this problem. So I thought, oh, okay, well, if I'm going to say I'm going to change accounting, I have to change GW. I can't just say accounting needs to change. I have to show it's possible. So, and I know I've been able to show so many things are possible in my life. So I'm like, if I can show GW can change, we can work 40 hours a week. We can have a great life and do accounting work and tax work and, succession planning work. It can do all that work and make our clients' lives better and have true value and true relationships. If I could do that, then I've done what I've always done. Be the first to do it and then gradually move people along the pathway. It's no different than me switching from paper to paperless. It's a bigger project for sure, but I'm like, okay, well, I'm staying here. I'm staying, making sure that GW gets to the point that it is going to be that way. And then I can go around and tell everybody else, see, look, we did it. We did it. You can do it. We did it. You did it. And then also to show younger people who are going into businesses or starting their own businesses that they can do the same thing, because so many of them go out there young, charge lower rates for their value, work a ton of hours. They start the same cycle that we started. Like they start at the same place, as opposed to saying, I am savvy, I know technology, I'm going to innovate this. These are the systems I'm going to use for my clients. I'm not going to use their systems or their crappy software that they want to use. If they want to work with me, they're going to use this software. And then I'm going to be able to scale this and really have a valuable relationship with my clients. And that's the problem, is I think we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again.
I think, just speaking personally here, I think that's the power of the story of what you've done at GW, what we've done at GW, is you're able to speak to somebody who say, well, it can't be done because our firm's 30 years old. And you're like, well, our firm's 80 years old. So scratch that excuse.
Yeah.
Well, it can't be done because we have too few people. Well, we only have 15 people. So scratch that excuse. Or it can't be done because we have 100 people. Well, we've got 15. So start with 15 within your company. All the excuses, we're making it happen without getting rid of tax season, without walking away from public accounting entirely. So showing that it can be done, stop making up excuses or stop pointing to reasons it can't be, and just work through them, I think is what you're doing. Am I
You're right.
correct in that assessment?
You are 100% correct. Yeah.
So you can speak to the big firms, you can speak to the small firms, you can speak to the old firms, you can speak to the new firms, and say, we've done it.
And that was the one great thing I think also about AI, when we started using that in 2018 on the audit side, was because when I go to talk to people, they're like, oh, you're at a big firm, so that's where you're using it. And I'll be like, we have 15 people at our firm, so stop using that excuse that you can't use it. So yeah, so it's like, oh, what? Yeah, so totally. So everything we're doing, everybody can do. I mean, I'm not saying it's not hard work. It's hard work, but you just have to bring your team into the conversation.
So that's a quick hour. We're already to the end of our
I
episode.
know, right?
That flew by. Before we jump into the lightning round, was there anything you wanted to add, or anything I didn't ask about that you wanted to add here before we go to the lightning round?
Mentoring is really important to me, because giving back to the profession. And for me, it really was not having a mentor. The MACPA was my mentoring association, and the programs that they have were kind of like my mentor, but I had no mentors. So I wanted to give back and actually help others realize their potential. Sometimes you just need one person to believe in you, to say you can do it. Like, you can do it. Like, there's nothing you can't do. And I truly believe that. So it just takes one person to tell you you can, or maybe give you an idea or show you the pathway. But those in succession planning, I never thought mentoring would be part of my succession plan, because I found you through mentoring, and you are my succession plan. We've hired employees that were past mentees, not intentionally, just down the road that happened or whatever. But I think it's because the fact that we show that we care so much about this profession and that we're involved just shows people that we've worked with that we care, and not only about GW and the people at GW, but the people in this profession. So it's very important to give back, and you never know what that next mentor-mentee relationship might bring for you, even as a business owner, like getting involved with your associations or trade associations in your business area. You might be surprised who you run into, and you may not have that person internally who wants to take over your business, and run with it, or internally run with a new idea or innovation, but you might meet someone on the outside who has some pretty great ideas or wants to join your team. So I just want to make sure that your listeners are open to the idea of giving back, but mentoring isn't always about giving advice. It's also about listening. And I have really learned a lot from my mentees, probably more than I've given them, I think, but it's a great opportunity broaden your horizon and broaden your network of the people you keep in your back pocket for your future succession planning.
Talk to the hesitation, as you have to me, of I don't have anything worth following. Why would anybody want to listen to me? Why should I speak in anybody's life? There's nothing here worth emulating. Talk to that hesitation right now in the role of mentoring.
So that's funny you say that, Barrett. And I always feel like, for me, I used to think the same thing, but we're doing stuff that people are not even talking about yet. So when you and I were having that conversation about you being a mentor, I just think about your journey and where you are, and also how you got here is really impressive. Like, your experiences can definitely impact others. Ones who want to be outsourced CFOs, ones who want to have their own firms, maybe someone who is on their own and wants to come join a team or whatever. Why would you do that kind of thing? But not only that, what we have done in the last, let's say, 5 years is transformational. And there are so many businesses and so many people that want to do that your experience in doing that and how we got there is really priceless. And just think about what we're doing with ChatGPT. People aren't doing this stuff yet. There are no firms giving away ChatGPT models, and nobody's doing this stuff. So, like, you just sharing that story about what we've done. I know when I share my SAP one about using ChatGPT, people are like, "What are you talking about? How is that even possible?" So, just even sharing that one experience, or the new tax software we use that has generative AI built into it, is transformative for people in firms and people in businesses. So everyone has something to give. And it's not talking about yourself. Like, accountants don't like talking about themselves. I don't like talking about myself. So that's one thing about this whole blog. That's probably why it took so long for us to get to this point. A year to get here. But everybody has a story, and everybody's story has an impact on somebody else. No matter how little or how minute you might think that impact is, it's still an impact.
It's hard without the context, anybody looking from the outside in, to see how far you've come in your business. But mentoring also provides a little bit of that context.
Oh, yeah.
I've only solved one thing in the past 3 years of my business, and it just feels like the mountain of stuff still to solve is so insurmountable. But you've solved that one thing. There's somebody out there that needs you to show them or to coach them through solving that one thing.
Yeah. And like I said, as long as you're moving forward and you're solving one problem at a time, that's great. If you're not changing anything, then you're falling behind.
Awesome. All right. Anything else that you want to add before we jump into the lightning round?
No, this is great, Barry. This is always great talking with you, for sure. And I'm super excited about where we're going and GWCPA and what it's going to look like. I mean, 7 years from now, I can't even imagine what it's going to look like, because it's changing so fast every day. Every day. I'm super excited.
Yeah, you think it's taken us a long time to get to the point of recording this episode, but I knew you were going to be my season 2 opener. So.
See, there you go.
All right, let's jump into the lightning round then.
Okay.
All right, coffee or tea, and how do you like it prepared?
I like hot tea with cream and sugar.
Pie or cake, and do you have a specific favorite?
And I'm going to say neither, because I like brownies, and they're neither of those, right? They're not pie or cake. So.
All right, season 2 is breaking the lightning round.
I'm sorry.
I think we've already heard some of it, but what's a common belief among entrepreneurs that you would want to challenge?
Oh, and it definitely goes back to defining what success means. What does that really mean? It really should be something sustainable and something that supports values and something that you're proud to be part of, I think, as opposed to just building something fast and growing revenue fast and selling it or whatever that is. You just really need to define what success is for yourself.
What is your favorite holiday and why?
It's Halloween, and it's not because it's my birthday. It's just because we get to dress up and it's candy. Like, how can that not be someone's favorite holiday? So that Halloween has always been my favorite.
Do you consider yourself a morning person or a night person? And do you have a favorite routine?
That's so funny. My husband would say I'm a 24-hour-a-day person, but for the first 40 years of my life, I was a morning person, believe it or not. But now I would say I'm a night person. A favorite routine? I was thinking about that. I would say a favorite routine for me really is just getting up in the morning, drinking my hot tea with cream and sugar. I really look forward to that. It sounds crazy. And then I spend a little time with my dog. So,
Okay. What about a night routine or
a night
what you
routine
look forward
is
to at night?
at this time it would be watching Hallmark Christmas movies on the couch with my dog.
This is a weird question. What is one thing that you would want your successor to remember you for, and why?
Oh my. Okay. One thing. I would say the one thing I would want you to remember is that I did everything I said I was going to do. It's two things. And I left GW in a better place than it was when you got there.
Done. All right.
I'm already done. Okay. See you later.
So what does that mean? You did everything that you said you were going to do?
Meaning making GW, everything about GW, a place where, I don't want to say future proofing, but giving you the foundation so that your future with bringing talent and making GW, whatever you want it is not a hard journey. It's still going to be a journey, and it's still going to be, have its ups and downs or whatever, but the foundation is strong. And that we're doing the right things, the culture's right, and you're going to just have people knocking at your door all the time, whether it's clients knocking at your door or on your website, I should say, and new team members coming along. You're never going to have a hard time finding somebody to be an employee at GW.
Where are you finding creativity right now?
Right now, professionally or personally?
Just whatever gets you excited.
Oh, I've been making a ton of flowers and Christmas wreaths. So flowers have been really getting me excited lately. I've never had so much time to actually get this done during the holidays. So that's kind of nice. Yeah.
What do you have coming up in the next year that's got you really excited?
Oh my gosh. I would say our workflow software change I'm super excited about, but I'm really excited about our next Foresight Fridays with generative AI with ChatGPT, because I cannot wait to see what people do with that, because I don't think they still really can grasp the capabilities, but I hope during those Foresight Fridays this year, they'll be able to use that and solve problems that we didn't even know we had, is what I'm hoping. So I'm excited about that.
So this being a podcast and I'm interviewing other people, I've never talked about Foresight Fridays.
What?
So I don't talk about myself with the guests. So what is Foresight Friday, Sam?
Well, we came up with this idea last year to give our team members 8 Fridays where they could spend half the day learning a new software, reading a book, a new technique, a new process, whatever it was, something that they had not been exposed to. They could spend 4 hours doing that, and then they get 4 hours of paid time off. What we found was that we were able to solve problems that we've been trying to solve for like years that, we couldn't solve because we never dedicated the time. So people were actually coming up with innovative software. They were coming up with ways to change how we do stuff. They were solving problems. It really was mind-blowing to me. So that was just the first year. And I think it took them a good 2 Foresight Fridays to really understand what they were doing and actually think about how things could be different. So now this year, I think it'll be the second year. So I think with that and ChatGPT bots they have, they're super excited about using those. So I think once they get that education on how that really works, they're just going to change. They're going to seriously change what we do and come up with ideas for our clients as well.
All right. So this brings us to the end of the show. So how can people find you, Sam?
Okay. LinkedIn is usually the easiest way to find me for sure. But they can just reach out to you, Barrett.
Do you have a YouTube channel? Or?
Yeah, no, you have one. I don't have one.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sam. This has been exactly what I hoped it would be, and it ended up being too short. So we'll probably have to do another one of these in the future.
All right.
Thank you so much for being a guest.
You're welcome.
I hope that you've enjoyed this discussion with Samantha Bowling. We have new episodes twice a month interviewing business owners on their succession stories. If you'd like to be a guest on The Art of Succession, our interview form is down in the description below. If you've enjoyed this episode, I ask that you please share it with someone else. And I want to thank you for watching The Art of Succession.